make clicks count. And that is a URL shortener. It's kind of like Bitly, only cool. So Bitly was created back in the time of Twitter, back in the time of where URLs needed to be short. URLs in today's world don't need to be short. They need to be memorable. So if you can get a cool domain name, and I got a bunch of domain names in my product, and a cool tag to put at the end of that domain name, and you send out a marketing blast with that cool domain name and that tag to it, it doesn't matter if that business card gets tossed in the trash. The chances that the person who saw that business card will remember it is much better than bit.ly.com/QF capital A exclamation point 3. So that's the first thing my tool will do is it takes the long URL and makes it to a memorable URL. Second, you can attach your own domain name to my tool. And my tool is just like really bad for me to say. So I'm going to say Clicky from now on. So you can attach your own domain name to Clicky. So for the Brookfield Chamber, anytime you see a link going out, it is s.brookfieldchamber.com/something or another. So the Brookfield Chamber uses the Clicky tool. So that's really cool. And with every link that is created through this Clicky tool, there's analytics behind it. So if you can't see any data collected on whatever marketing you're doing, you're throwing money out the window. If you can't track it, it doesn't happen.
So let me ask a question here real quick, Garrett. Sure. When you're talking about domains, yep. You're saying to get a specific domain for the shortener, because like, for example, my domain at unleashmobileapps.com is too long just to start with, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And I purchased one called umaapps.guru. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a shortener, and that's what I use for the shortener. This is before I knew that Garrett was going to be, created his wonderful shortening tool. Now, the question is, though, how important is it to have a .com? I chose to have a .guru. I mean, there's all kinds of dots out there now. There's .app, .io, .live, etc.
From a web page side of things, if you have a .com, .net, .org, .gov, you have a higher chance to go through a filtering firewall than you would over a vanity domain name. That's just the filtering firewall. Not too many companies, especially not too many small companies, utilize filtering firewalls. So having a .app, .guru, .io, any of those domain names, it's not a big deal. If you are using this as your email domain, that is a huge, huge, huge red flag. The spam filters will see that vanity domain name and give you a higher score just because it's not one of the top domain names. So
is .net still okay?
Is what?
Is .net still okay?
.net is fine. .net is old school. .net, .com, .org, .gov, if you can get to .gov, .edu, those get a lower score out of the box through email filtering. So if you have if you're doing email marketing, make sure that's coming from a .com domain or a .net domain name, not a .io, not a .tv, not a there's .club, .whatever.
Okay, I'm actually going to put in the chat right now for those who are doing email marketing. This is a site called Mail Genius, and you can put your email in there. It's pretty self-explanatory, and it will give you a score of spam filtering. It's a free service, and it is one where you just basically what will happen is you'll open it up. They'll give you a address to send your email to, and then you'll send the email that you were going to use for your email marketing through whatever tool you're using for email marketing. And then this will give you what your score is. And not only will it give you your score, it will tell you what's wrong with it. You're missing this, you're blacklisted, you're this, you're that, etc. So I highly recommend using Mail Genius before you send any kind of an email blast.
And follow the canned spam rule of 1997. Please, please, please.
Right.
Cool.
Okay, so continue on.
Perfect. So
we're about to talk
analytics.
analytics.
Analytics. So just out of the box, you create a link, you post it on Facebook, you create a different link, you post it on Twitter, you create a third link, you post it on LinkedIn, and then you can analyze to see where your marketing is working, who's clicking on the links. If you post a cool article on Facebook and you get 300 likes on it, but only 2 people read the article, that whatever hook you're using, they're not actually reading the article. They may like you and try to support you, but whatever you're doing is not cool enough for them, or not grabby enough for them to actually read what you post out there. But if you're just looking by links, by likes, it doesn't matter. And the cool part about using the link shortener that does the analytics and does the tracking is you don't have to own that article. It doesn't have to be on your web server. It doesn't have to be on your blog. You could take the latest PPP information from the IRS website, filter it, wash it through a URL filter, URL shortener like, mkecc.com, and plop it out there. And then you get the analytics of becoming the thought leader of posting that out there. And you can see how many people click it, and you can gain the benefits of that.
One thing that we do is we use one link to be able to put all the App Store information in one. So with a one link, you can put the link to the App Store for the Apple account. You can put the link to the App Store for the Google. You can put a website, you can put a PWA, etc. And it gives you a little analytics. All it does is basically give you how many people clicked the one link. Okay. But what's nice about it is when you are promoting for a mobile app, you can just send this one link. You don't have to worry about whether or not the people have an Android device or a Google device. It recognizes when you open up, when you hit that link, it will open up and it will say, it'll recognize what your device is and it'll take you to the appropriate place. Now, with that, can you take a one link and put it into your shortener and run it through again?
So here is my dashboard. And you can see I have a number of people clicking on different links. Here's my short links. I have a vote on the November 3rd YouTube link. I got 6 people who clicked on it. So we can go in and edit the link. So we have our long URL that we can go in and modify. So we can take that short link that you have created and go, that's not the link that we want to use anymore. Let's point them over to the homepage of our website if they click on the shortened link. We have domain names. I have a crap ton of domain names that custom domain. I'm pointing at my screen. Nobody can see that. Or you can have the domain names I have tossed in there. You can do a redirection. You can do a splash screen. You can put an iframe on top of it. But you can target different countries. So if that link is coming from the United States, you can send them to a URL for the United States. If you have a cool tool that you're promoting for Israeli people, you can go find Israel, and any IP address that originates from Israel would go to a different link. Same with devices. So we can say an iPhone goes to one link, iPad goes to a different link. So I'm assuming this is what your one link would do. Is that correct?
In a way. So what happens is when you open up one link, you put within there all the different URLs, and then it's just one link. It's like one.io, I think it is, and then backslash, and then a number of numbers. Go ahead and pull it up. There you go. So this is, so you put in what your app store is, you put in what your, if you have a separate one for iPad, you can put it in for the Google Play, etc. Then when you go to share socially, you just need to share that one link that's up there. But the question is, can you put that into your shortener and then customize it so you can, like you said, I put this over on LinkedIn, I put this on Twitter.
That's just a redirector to a redirector.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. That's an easy thing to do. That's an easy thing to do.
Excellent, because I can see where that would be very, very important to be able to redirect the redirect, to be able to keep track. Because if you look at the one link analytics, it just tells you how many people clicked and on what type of device. That's all well and good. It makes it, you feel good that people are clicking it. But if you want to really target your audience and get the downloads, you have to keep track of where you're at.
If you can't track it, it doesn't happen.
Right. Right.
So
then go back into your analytics here and show a little bit more about how you're able to really drill down on it.
So at the moment, I'm working with the developer to get more granular for the United States. But right now we can track by country where the links are coming in. We're tracking what type of browser we're using. We're tracking what type of URL and what type of social share that you're getting on the different links. But it gets even more fun because we have integration into tracking pixels. Now, that's where we were chatting with Miranda earlier. Tracking pixels are ways that you can use to remarket and retarget your audiences. And we support Facebook, we support AdWords, LinkedIn, Twitter. I have not played with AdRoll or Gjeret yet, but we support them as well. And the cool part is on the links, you can support multiple pixels. So you're not limited to a single Facebook pixel on your link.
Okay, I'm going to back you up just a little bit. Can you explain exactly what a pixel is? Because I'm not sure everybody has even ever heard of that.
A pixel in the marketing world is when you go to Google and you search for fluffy bunny slippers. And then you go into Facebook and suddenly you have ads for fluffy bunny slippers all over the place. You got pictures of people wearing fluffy bunny slippers. You open up your YouTube and you're watching a video, and midway through, right at the exciting part, you have a person walking through with fluffy bunny slippers and an ad for fluffy bunny slippers. That is all done through conversion pixels. And conversion pixels are a way to tag people using cookies on what they like and how their audience is. And how many people here use Google? How many people here use Facebook? How many people here use Twitter? Okay, how many people here use LinkedIn? How many people actually pay for any of those services? These companies make shit tons of money. The reason how they make all of this money is through advertising. So they gather all of your information when you go off and search different sites, when you click on different links, when you are doing stuff on their platform, or when you're doing stuff on the website that is attached to their platform, Google Analytics, everything is tracked, and they know exactly what you do. Remember way back when Obama was on stage and said, "Don't worry about it. We're not tracking you specifically. We're just tracking your metadata." The metadata is the scary part that a person should be worried about, and the metadata is the really cool part that a business owner should be salivating over. The metadata is what you can use to leverage putting your app in front of people who may want to buy it, people who have already shown an interest in what you do, or people who have shown an interest that matches the things that people who like what you do. So with Facebook and the Facebook Pixel, you can create an ad campaign against people who like the same things as people who like fluffy bunny slippers. So that is a way how you can really grow your audience that has a higher rate to convert.
And our Facebook Pixels, is that under the advertising section? Those are for
that's all under the advertising. And all of these tools, all of these conversion pixels, all of these tags, they're free to use because they're expecting you to pay money for your advertising. So you can create a market right now and not advertise to them with them until you're ready to advertise. It's always better to either go to a marketing professional and go, hey, I already have my pixel set up and I'm already advertising to them. And then that marketing person can use that data from that pixel and create a great ad campaign. Or if you're doing it on bootstraps, you can create instead of just throwing money out there to go, I want people in Wisconsin to look at my app. Now you can narrow it down to, I want people who have clicked on my items on my Facebook page to see the app. Or I want people who clicked on my links in LinkedIn to see my ad on Facebook. So you can you can use the tags to cross promote. So they're seeing your information on a completely different social network in their free time.
So you can have this all set up before you even commit to doing ads. This is one of the.
You should always have this all set up before you commit to doing ads.
Okay.
Excellent.
But anything changed as your market and your focus changes?
You can always change everything. But when you are creating your ad, you should have a plan. If you are promoting your what's one of your apps that you're doing the restaurant app right now?
Yeah.
So if you are promoting your restaurant app and you are in the Wisconsin Bar and Restaurant Association and you're posting articles to the IRS and you're posting articles on USA Today and you're attaching your Facebook pixels to all of those apps, and the people who are clicking on there and going, yeah, this is cool, this is good information, they're clicking on that stuff, you're growing your audience. You don't want to use that same pixel on your personal Facebook posts to be promoting the water skiing show that you just saw, or how crazy the New Berlin Association is, or your kid's school event, or whatever. You want to make sure that pixel is for that campaign. And so I have done a bunch of YouTube videos type stuff. I got Happy Halloween. I got to go out and vote. I didn't attach my Make Clicks Count pixel to any of them because those are just cool videos. And people sharing the videos, that's great name recognition, but I don't necessarily want to market to those. Marketing to more people is not better. Marketing to the people who will convert, that's where you want to be.
So you can attach your pixel to just any generic post. It doesn't have to be an advertisement. It can be you're posting about a blog article or posting your announcement that your app is now live on the store and here's where you can find it. When you're posting any kind of content, you can attach your pixels. And when you're doing that, you do that leading up to potentially doing advertisement then, so that you're building your audience of who's going to see what before. So it's like the pre-work. It's laying
the groundwork. Yep, it's laying the foundation. And then once you launch your app, then the people who have been clicking on your app and trying to follow you suddenly start seeing different different advertisings for you, and the advertising is where the pixel holders, the Facebook, the Google, the LinkedIn, that's where they make the money. That's where they're taking their ad dollars, and using a pixel is a way to take that $20, $30, $50 ad campaign and just make sure it's going to the people that you want it to go to.
Do these apply when people boost a post as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can boost to people in your pixel.
Got it. Okay. Now, how does this work with your shortening tool?
So you add a pixel, and here's my jewelry pixel. Here's my makes clicks count pixel. Here's a pixel that I just toss on different stuff, and I'm trying to get some analytics on it so I can get some demo on it. Here's my AdWords conversion pixel. That's with Google. And so once you have a link, you can edit that link. And we have our targeting pixels. So in our targeting pixel, you can just say, this link that I'm going to be pushing out, I want to have attached to my make clicks count pixel. And because why not? Let's also add it to our Google conversion pixel. So we're putting that touch, that fingerprint for that user on both Facebook and Google at the same time. So if you do a Facebook post, you use your Facebook pixel. If you do a Google AdWords campaign, you'd put it against the Google AdWords.
Excellent, excellent. And you would suggest having different short, links if you're posting on different areas, or does this discern that came from Twitter, that came from LinkedIn?
Unless you're an analytics expert and you're really good at that stuff, the easy, cheap way to do it is just create different links for each of your social networks. That will give you a easier way to figure out where your links are coming from. Using our tool here, you can also expire links that you create, and you can also password protect links that you create. So if you see this telephone number right here, you're calling my office. So and I have employees. So this is not a fly by night working out of the basement of, well, sometimes I do work out in my basement, but this isn't I invested into it, and the money that is not here yet is being funded by other parts of a real business. It's real is what I'm trying to say, and it's local. Great part about that is it's real and it's local. The downside about that is if you call 9 o'clock at night looking for support, you're not getting somebody in India, you're getting my voicemail. And I'll call you back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and I can say
Thank
we
you.
use Gjeret's URL shortener at the Brookfield Chamber, and it works easy. I never have issues with it. For specific programs, I'm able to do the custom alias, so we can really narrow into what we're talking about, and it's really great for us to track the clicks on that. So it is really beneficial for us.
So Gjeret, let's talk about pixels a little bit more, because I really think that's where building an audience, it's critical to get that done. How long do you think, Gjeret, it takes to build an audience with pixels before you jump into advertisement?
The longer you do it, the better your advertisement will be. If you have 12 people following your Facebook page, your pixel campaign won't be as effective as if you have a 300. So it's not a time, but rather what is your engagement? What is your following? The more you put into your social clicks and your social postings, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, a link somebody types in, the more that ad is going to work for you. So if you are a great marketer and you can get lots of people liking your page, or you have this killer app that people are excited about, and you got this great buzz around it, your audience is going to be that much better. So it's less about time and more about quality. Is that making sense?
And that doesn't necessarily have to be message targeted. So for example, we posted one for an app that we're doing, our Easy Beasy app. We posted a funny image. It was a meme, I want to say. And, we put a little blurb in it, etc. That actually got 37,000 views, and it got 4,000 clicks, and I want to say maybe somewhere around 1,500 shares, or maybe I have those numbers backwards. But having pixels attached to that is critical, because now we've captured who all those people are. The pixel gets attached to the post, and it reads the post. So Melinda, like in your case, say you're doing a post and it's under Good Karma sports fishing, right? And you have this pixel on every single post that has to do with the sport fishing. And I go in and click it, and then, Greg goes in and clicks it, and etc. Now you're building your audience, because it's saying Nancy, Greg, Stacy, they all like this stuff. So when you go to do ads, your ad is now going to show up in my feed. So think of it like prep work for advertising.
Okay.
And the pixel part is free. Setting up your pixels is free. Once that is nicely established, and like in your case, Melinda, you've got a pretty good size audience to start with. So putting the pixels in now is going to build a lot faster than Stacy. Stacy doesn't have an audience yet, because her app is still in development and she's just got concept going on. So yours is going to build a lot faster. So to put a time limit on it isn't accurate. It's volume of audience.